Good afternoon. I know it has been a definitely strange weather day here in the CSRA. You see it there, smoky conditions all across the region, and not just in Augusta, but really all over the CSRA. We're kind of the focal point today for what has been a byproduct of all the wildfires that are happening in the southern half of the state. Georgia definitely getting the brunt of some of these dry conditions, and we are no different here. We now have a burn ban, and this goes for essentially all of the CSRA. The only counties not listed in that burn ban are Lincoln, Wilkes, and Tolliver counties. So we're going to dive more into the smoke today, what caused it, why it was so low to the ground, and we're also talking about the rainfall situation, which unfortunately still not looking that great. At least right now, I think we could see some better returns by late next week. I mean, I'm looking at next Thursday and Friday. We could see some better rain chances Saturday and Tuesday, like we were talking about in your Tuesday newscast, but still not seeing signs that it is going to be a blanketing, encouraging rain. But again, I do still think the pattern picks up to end this month and to begin the month of May. So we're going to dive into that here on Weather Aware Live. Thanks for tuning in. And if you have any questions about the smoke today, ask away. I think some of this breakdown that you're going to get here on Facebook Live is actually going to help out figuring out what you've seen today and what you've experienced. So hopefully that'll answer a lot of questions. So we'll dive into it in just a moment. Going to let a couple more of you filter in. And looking at some of these comments here and trying to track some of those as soon as we can get them. But regardless, again, let's go ahead and dive into Weather Aware Live here. So again, air quality is unhealthy today, and you see that here. Anywhere from, say, Clarks Hill Lake all the way down south into Emmanuel County, all the way into even Washington, Hancock, and Johnson counties out of our viewing area, and all the way down to Barnwell and Aiken, right along Highway 278 and 278. So we have unhealthy air quality. It's going to keep on going. I don't think this is stopping anytime soon. And I did want to show you the all the fires that are happening. Now, there's major fires that are happening down to the south of us. And if I zoom in here, you're going to notice these are two that are really starting to burn both near Atkinson and Waynesville, just to the west of Brunswick. So that's the first fire that we're talking about. This one about 3,800 acres wide, and only 10% of it's contained. And this is the big one, and this is to the west of the Okefenokee Swamp, just east of Valdosta here. Brantley County seeing a lot of homes impacted. We've seen over 50 structures that have been destroyed here, and evacuations are ongoing. So both of these fires are very dangerous situations that are happening in southeast Georgia. Now, here's the kicker. Our winds were out of the north and east yesterday, so while these wildfires were raging, we weren't seeing any of that smoke because northeast winds were taking that smoke and blowing it in a different direction. Today, our winds are out of the south, and so all that smoke has carried up to the north, and that's why you're seeing smoke here in our area. Now, you might be thinking, you're reading the key on this map, you see it says light smoke, and you're thinking, oh, it's way more than that. And here's why the light smoke amount seemed a lot more fierce than it actually was. It's all because of what we call a temperature inversion. So this temperature inversion, let's explain what happened. Essentially what happened today is the smoke got trapped right at the surface. So that's why you looked out today and you saw nothing but haze. And that air quality got really low because all that smoke was condensed into one spot, which was near the ground. So here's what we typically say in Weather 101 here. Warm air rises, cold air sinks. So if air is warmer than its surroundings, it's always going to go up. Think like a helium balloon, right? So that's the basics of this. So as long as air is warmer than the surroundings, it's going to continue to go up. But here's what happened today that makes it so different. We had a temperature inversion, meaning that the warm air, which typically lies at the surface, it was actually up higher in the atmosphere. So the air in the upper atmosphere was warmer than the air in the lower atmosphere. So cold air doesn't rise. So this air was cooler than the air above it. So all that smoke that was at the ground, it stayed at the ground because the warm air kept it there. So the air pretty much put a lid on the atmosphere, and that's what we call an inversion. So all that smoke was trapped at the ground, and it couldn't go up because the air at the surface was cooler than the air above it. So we just stuck with the smoke all morning long finally that inversion started to let go earlier this afternoon, and our skies became more sunny and slightly less hazy. But you can still see the haze out there a good amount, but this morning it was really pronounced, and that's all thanks to that temperature inversion. I think we'll see one of those tomorrow morning as well. So it's going to be a smoky morning across the CSRA tomorrow. The smoke is going to stay with us in the afternoon. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. So I want you to be weather aware for that. And if you have respiratory issues, it's very important to take this seriously because they can get to you pretty quickly, especially if you have to be outside for a long period of time. So if your job or if your day takes you outdoors a lot tomorrow, make sure to limit your time outside. The air quality right now is unhealthy for any of us to be breathing in, much less if you have respiratory issues. We're expecting the unhealthy air quality continue. On top of that, hazy skies, slightly lower visibility. And again, that could impact the runways a little bit at the airport, some things like that, especially in the morning. And again, limit your time outside, especially if you're sensitive to that lower air quality. That's going to be the main story for tomorrow, and I think it'll probably be the story for Friday as well because we have no rain and no humidity to increase at least the moisture in the air. And without moisture, these fires are going to rage on. And, obviously the Forestry Commission, our first responders, they're going to be doing everything in their power to limit these fires. But this is kind of what's going on for the foreseeable future here. And so that's what we're expecting all of your Thursday. So make sure to stay weather aware for that. And again, we'll continue to keep you posted as that situation evolves. You can kind of see a time lapse here on radar and satellite of how all this shook out. So this is this afternoon. Notice a lot of sunshine, that smoke mixing out, but look at all the haze. Look at all the cloud cover that was just trapped at the surface this morning. And finally, as that inversion started to go away, we got more sunshine. And in fact, the air quality started to improve by maybe just a little bit, but not very much. So that leads me to the next part of conversation, which is we need rain, and we're in a big-time drought right now. I don't see the drought getting better. I think that, the next drought monitor update comes out tomorrow, the 23rd, and it is going to show worsening conditions. That's why we have a burn ban for all of South Carolina and the southern half of Georgia right now. And I don't think it's going to get much better until we see a more active pattern taking shape. So what does this look like? And what do our rain chances look like as a result of this? Notice it here. And I've got rain chances still at 40% late Saturday night. I've got rain chances at 40% on Tuesday. But I'm not seeing much, at least in the 7-day period. I think the better rain chance is going to come in a little bit later. And that's going to be arriving next Thursday and next Friday. So rain chances, still seldom, not much with it. And I'm going to show you kind of what we're looking at for the pattern. So this is going to be, I'm going to go backtrack that here. So this is going to be late Saturday and early Sunday. So for your weekend plans, if you're looking to do something on Saturday, I still think the morning through at least the early afternoon will be fine, if not the entire afternoon. This is trending more towards Saturday night, early Sunday for the next best chance of rain. I don't think we're going to have too much in this. I think the best chance of rain is still going to be to our west in the Tennessee Valley of Alabama and, of course, southern Tennessee. Then let's take it to Sunday and Monday. I don't think we're seeing a lot, if anything, on Sunday and Monday. Looks pretty dry. We're going to be on the backside or the dry side of a stalled front, and that front's going to stall just right over us. The rain chances will be back to our south and west both Sunday and Monday. But then we get to Tuesday of next week and a cold front moves in, and I still think that that line of storms is going to be weakening as it pushes into the CSRA. So Tuesday might not come to fruition how we want it. It all depends on what the jet stream wants to do. Patterns this time of year, they're very hard to figure out. So this is the jet stream, and you want to look where there's a dip in it. And there's your dip right there in the circled area. That's where the most active weather is going to be, right near Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri there, Indiana, and even North Alabama. These are all spots that could see more active weather. Watch what happens to the jet stream, though, from Monday to Tuesday. It flattens out like a pancake. You could trace it straight across there. This is where the deep dive comes in. When you see the jet stream flatten out, if you're wanting rain, that's the worst possible news because the jet stream, the disturbance in the jet stream goes away. As that fizzles out, I don't know if the line of storms that's going to form in Alabama and Tennessee will be strong enough to make it this way on Tuesday. So Tuesday's rain chances, I've lowered those to 40%. Yesterday, I felt a little bit stronger about it, but right now, looking at the data, it still looks like 40% is about the right number here because the jet stream could flatten out and ruin our rain chances altogether. Then we get to late next week. Now, let's fast forward to Thursday and Friday. Notice how the jet stream comes together a little bit. You see that big dip, and we're right on the backside of it. That's good news. This could be the more active pattern we've been waiting on. Showers, thunderstorms. Let's hope that this comes to fruition because we really need some rain. Saturday and Tuesday, they're better setups than we've seen in a long time, but they're not good enough to say that we would get a good soaking rain off of it just yet. So I'm keeping those chances just at 40%. Just at 40% for now. And if I look at the model comparison, curious to see what our latest data is saying here. I'll show you that. And, the GFS and the Euro have backed off now on some of those totals based on what we were showing you. The jet stream flattens out. That could ruin our rain chances. It's not a promised deal. It's far from a guarantee that we could get a good soaking rain on Saturday or on Tuesday of next week. So here's that 7-day forecast. And we're going to be breaking this down again on Fox 54 News at 5, 6:30, 10, and 11. So we want you to join us there. But here's a preview. So again, tomorrow I want you to be weather aware for the unhealthy air quality. We're going to deal with the smoky skies pretty much all day. 88 degrees is our highs both days. So it's going to be warm and it's going to be smoky and it's going to be dry. Saturday, late in the day, we could get those showers and thunderstorms back. Sunday and Monday, I think we get a breather. Then we get to Tuesday, another decent chance, maybe, for some rain. I've capped those off at 40%. But the next best thing looks to be next Thursday and next Friday. So right now, just not a whole lot to talk about when it comes to that long-range outlook. I just don't feel good about saying that we get a good soaking rain over the next 7 days. So the wildfire situation continues to brew. But I think by May 1st, we could start to see a whole different pattern shifting on a dime here. So that's the good news with this forecast. Okay, guys, going to let y'all go. We're going to get back to it, and we're going to prepare for our newscast coming up tonight at 5, 6:30, 10, and 11. We hope you join us there. Stay safe. Remember, make sure to limit your time outside, especially if this smoke gets to bothering you a good bit. And we will have much more coming up on the smoke, the updates from the Georgia Forestry Commission, the South Carolina side of things as well. We have the full breakdown coming up on Fox 54 News. Stay safe. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll see you tonight on the news.